Ira Isaacs and I are very pleased that he was not convicted, but we do not want a third trial in this matter. We've already had two. Two is enough. This is the case arising out of the original Judge Kaczynski trial. The government bullied its way through the case then and intimidated Judge Kaczynski. We think the case should be dropped now.
The federal obscenity prosecution of Los Angeles shock artist and fetish film producer and distributor Ira Isaacs ended in a mistrial after jurors deadlocked on charges that he produced, sold, and transported obscene material. Jurors watched 4 films created or distributed by Isaacs, whose specialty includes scatology and bestiality. Jurors were deadlocked 10-2 in favor of conviction. Ira, how do you feel about the outcome?
I first want to say thank you for having me here and your time. I'm a little bit disappointed. Obviously, I would have liked to win and had all 12 jurors agree that movies are not obscene. However, the fact that 2 people did hold out and 2 people stood by their beliefs in the free speech and the First Amendment still is a great victory for the First Amendment and freedom of speech.
Do you think the government will retry the case again?
They might. The prosecution did say, as the judge dismissed it, from this trial that they probably would proceed, but they need to talk to people in Washington, D.C. So I don't know. I hope they don't, but I'm ready if they do.
There were 2 jurors who agreed with your contention that the content you distribute is artistic. Why do you feel the other 10 jurors didn't see it the same way?
Well, the art I'm talking about, I think most people think of art as a physical craft, like a painting on the wall, and you look at it, and there's beautiful puppies and clowns, and it's lovely to look at, and that is art. That is valid. But other art is not just about the physical craft, but about intellectual interpretation. And a lot of the shift, the focus of the shift, is not the art piece, but the viewer becomes the focus, the reaction of the viewer, the ideas that the viewer, and we hope by watching these kind of movies, they come up with new thoughts. I created a new thought, and the fact that I created a new thought makes it art, because art is not only the physical, what you see, but the intellectual that you might not see or might be honest. And I don't think those 10 jurors very complex art issues. It took me many years of studying and reading about it to understand concepts of Marcel Duchamp or Robert Rauschenberg or any of the other masters. They don't do scat, but they've done similar shock art things with the same kind of interpretation that art is not necessarily the physical but other. And I don't think these people can grasp it. I don't think they could tell, like I said, the difference between puppies from a Picasso. It's very hard, and I think the 2 are more sophisticated. I think one of the women had a design background, and I think artists, and the other woman, I think's husband was in the filmmaking business of horror films. I think artists can see things maybe that the accountant may not immediately get, and I think that's some of the problem. And I think I could have explained it better probably too.
Well, how much faith do you have in the American judicial system?
I think the system is really good, actually. I think I've been treated very, very nicely through the whole thing with a lot of respect. I never got arrested. They let me participate in it. I think everybody pretty much treats me with respect. It's unfortunate, all the mistrials and all the things. The only thing I can say is that everybody wants to win, and that's including the prosecution. So everybody's doing their job, and I'm doing my job. We're all doing our job, and I'm doing my job as a shock artist.
Well, you consider yourself a shock artist. What is a shock artist?
Shock artist relies on the surface of the images to shock you. It could be anything from, like what I produce, a scatological thing. It could be, there's so many things in shock art. It could be what Chris O'Feely did in the Brooklyn Museum, where he took elephant dung and threw it on a painting of the Madonna. Dung, and a very big Christian icon, is pretty shockful for people. I see myself as an iconoclast. I try to go for the taboos, the images, and try to break those, try to deconstruct those to its basic things. And these movies do that.
Well, how did you get into the business of selling scat and bestiality films?
Well, I think first it was more scat. Bestiality came later. But in 1999, I've been exposed to this stuff in Europe and stuff in New York in the 80s, so I was kind of aware of it. And in the 80s, you could go to little peep shows in Times Squares. You put a quarter in, you could see different things from Europe. I remember seeing the first one. I mean, I was just so blown away this was happening. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And as somebody who studied art in school and out of school, I always wanted, and I've been in art, I have an advertising agency where I design and we paint and we do a lot of graphic images of cute things and direct mailers. So I have a very substantial background in very conventional art. Kind of got tired of that. I wanted to kind of do something different. And I saw the opportunity that this subject matter is going to set me apart from other people because it's so shocking and it's so defying the United States obscenity laws that I decided to put myself on the line and hopefully win the Academy Award of Shock Art, which I think I have. The fact that they brought this against me.
Are you still selling the videos today?
Yes, because they're not obscene yet. Till the jury comes in. That's the beauty of the law. They don't say, don't watch it, and then the jury will tell you if it's okay. They say you have a right to your First Amendment until we prove differently, and the jury has not done that yet.
Thank you, Ira.
Thank you.